Alright, what is up everybody? I'm a little bit late on this video, but I wanted to get everything in here, make sure it looked as good as possible. So let's go, let's recap my show that I did let's see, 1 week ago, actually. 7 days ago, NPC Legends Classic. I'm going to go over some of the stuff we did during peak week, the results, and what we have in store for the next show, which we are now 12 days out of, the Arnold Amateur in Ohio. It's going to be on Thursday. Yep, Thursday, March 5th. And as always, make sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. And before we start, I have a really exciting announcement. I have partnered with supplement company Frontline Formulations, veteran-owned and operated company. As a veteran myself, that is something that is pretty important to me. This is my favorite product of theirs personally right now. This is Pumpmageddon. This is their stem-free pre-workout product. Mango Lorian flavor. This is the absolute best tasting supplement of any kind from any company that I've ever had. It's one of the big reasons that I decided to partner with them, actually, and become one of their ambassadors, because the flavors for all their products that I've tried have been absolutely outstanding. Really good flavors all across the board. Everything mixes really well. Great ingredient lists. No proprietary blends. Everything like that. So check them out. I'm going to have a link in the description of this video. So like I said, check them out. You're going to get some savings. Cool thing is, when you buy through their website, whether you use the discount code or not, the more you buy, the more you save. So you buy one thing, certain price. If you buy two, goes down a little bit for each one. Buy 3, 4, 5, keeps on going down. Also have bundles, so you can save more money with that. And obviously, use the referral link, save a bit of money. This is another one of their products. This is Gauntlet V2 Margarita Twist flavor. Have not tried this one out yet. I've tried a sample of this, of a different flavor, and it was really good. This is their stimulant pre-workout product. I don't use these too often, so that's why it's unopened right now. I still got something else that I'm working through until I break into this, but I'm excited for this one. Maybe in the off-season I'll use it a little bit more, but again, fantastic flavors, fantastic ingredients list. And then finally, another product that I've really enjoyed. Try this one out. Zero Dark Thirsty. This is their electrolyte mix, so good hydration. This is blue cherry slushy flavor. Have this one in the morning to get electrolytes started, to get hydrated right in the morning. Living in Phoenix, it's not going to be very long until it's 110, 115, 117 out every single day. So this is going to become more and more important. I put this in my intra-workout, actually, for my electrolytes there instead of just plain salt. So, you know, got a bit of calcium, magnesium, chloride, sodium, potassium, everything like that. A little bit of taurine, coconut water powder. All good stuff that bodybuilders can make use of. So Frontline Formulations, check out the referral link in the description. And with that being said, let's get going on this video. So I'm going to start off with how I looked the morning of the show. I think I was like 188 or so. So you can see I got the tan on. Everything looks super orange and red. I always get the 2 base layers of tan and then the top coat. I have found that the darker I am, the better I look on stage. I don't like it when they only do 1 coat. It just doesn't go well with my skin personally. My skin reacts really well when you get even darker, even more base coats. So conditioning, I was really happy with the look all the way through peak week. We were hard, we were dry, ended up staying pretty full. We carved up pretty well. I'll show you the exact diet that I had the day before the show and the day of the show as well here in a little bit. Especially for finals, we carved up pretty well, and I'll explain why here in a little bit. But yeah, so this is how we looked the morning of the show. Woke up feeling really good. This is, 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that. It's really important to get up early in the morning of the show, guys, because if you're starting prejudging 8, 9 a.m., you want to try to get some food in you, and you want to have it digested so your stomach is nice and flat before you get on stage. If you are rushing to get your meals in right before stage and you're having this huge meal only a half hour before stage, probably not going to be the best look. You're probably going to look a little bit bloated, probably look a little bit watery. It's not going to be the best result you possibly can. So we always get up really early. day of the show, so I was able to get two full meals in for the show, and then have time for a little pre-workout carby snack with some sodium and everything like that right before getting on stage. So you can see the vascularity, you see the dryness. I was really happy with everything. So here are some stage photos. These are straight from NPC News Online. This is from my prejudging routine, so it's not all the poses, only 30-second routine, so didn't go through everything, but you can see the look I brought to the stage. I was the most conditioned guy in the show, for sure. The guy who ended up beating me, I'll spoil it now. I got second place in the heavyweight division. He was definitely in shape for sure. But I was harder than him. I was drier. He just had more size than me, had a much better shape, a lot more width, especially in his back poses. I think that's why he ended up beating me. Just gave up too much size, too much width, especially in those back poses. Like I said, his rear lat spread was just like 3 feet wider than mine. There's not much I can do except continue to build up my back, everything like that. Here's also, I think this is for my finals routine. This is just photos that my wife took with my cell phone, so they're not the best quality. But again, you can see, even with this not great of quality photos, you can see the shape I was in. You can see the vascularity, you can see the hardness. Overall, really good. So, something that's really important here, this is always the most important thing in bodybuilding that I want to talk about, guys, is what's your long-term progress, okay? How are you looking from show to show, year to year? Not just day to day, week to week, month to month, but over a long time frame. So for me, from my first show in 2024 to this show, my third ever show, was 19 months. Added about 10, 11 pounds of stage weight between those shows. For my second show, I was even lighter, actually. I got all the way down to like 172. I was like 180 on stage for my first show. So if you want to go from second show to third show, it was like 18, 19 pounds. But you can see the difference in every single one of these poses. I mean, show me a muscle group that did not improve on me. And 10 pounds, it doesn't sound like a lot, especially over that time frame, but 10 pounds of actual stage weight in the same, or I think I was in better condition for this show than the first. That's a good amount of muscle mass. Imagine 10 pounds of sirloin steak with all the fat trimmed off, sitting on a table. Now put that on your body and sculpt it to where you need it. That's a lot of fucking muscle, guys. That is a lot of size. So really excited for next off season because we have all the routines in place. We know what's working for me. I mean, for me, the off-season focus was my back, and I accomplished that. My back is much, much better than it was before. It is still the main thing I need to work on is the back, both width and thickness. But now we have shown, hey, we know that we can progress that. It's not like we went a year and a half without making any progress. We know the formula now, and now it's just about time. You have to put in the time. There's been a lot of people asking me, asking my coach Tommy, hey, what did you do to improve this or that? Like what did you guys change? And really it was just doing the same thing, just slightly refining things here and there, but most importantly was putting in the time. You cannot make big progress from show to show if you are not giving yourself time in between those shows to actually improve and put on size. There are people who can do it. There are people who can compete every single year, multiple times a year, and put on 5-10 pounds every single time and get better and better. I'm not one of those guys. If I was one of those guys, I would know it. And, same thing with, I was talking to my coach a while back, like, I've been training for almost 20 years. At that point, like, if I was going to be one of those guys who was so genetically blessed, I would know it by now. The proof would be in the pudding. I wouldn't have to, this progress would have been from like year 3 to year 4 of lifting, not year 19 to year 20, right? Year 18 to year 20, something like that. So it's always cool to see that comparison. So let's actually talk about the show itself. So it was a smaller show, only 3 weight classes, so light, middle, and heavyweight. The large majority of us were all in the heavyweights, which when they consolidate those shows, it's 187 and above is heavyweight. And there's no supers, nothing like that, no light heavy. In a bigger show like the Arnold Classic that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be a true light heavyweight, which is 176 to 198. I'll be right in the middle of that. Getting up closer to the top of that, goal of that for next year is obviously going to be, or the next time I compete, whether that's next year or the year after that, is going to be to fill out the light heavyweights, but not quite there yet. So the guy who beat me, he ended up winning the overall. He looked outstanding. Absolutely, he looked absolutely amazing. I knew after prejudging I was in second place. It was close though, for sure, and I had him in some poses, but he was 215 pounds. And he had a lot more experience on me. He had way better shape and insertions, things like that. I have pretty good structure, and it's decent, but I'm not one of those flowy guys. I'm never going to be a classic guy, anything like that. My calling card is always going to be hardness and density. I'm more of a Branch Warren than a Victor Martinez. Okay, that's all it is. So I was giving up a lot of size and a lot of shape. And after prejudging, I figured I was almost certainly in second. He was in the center and had good comparisons. I had him in a few shots. I think especially my side chest, my side poses. I had him in. He 100% beat me from the front. Definitely had me in the rear lat spread. Rear double was a bit closer. He probably had me in that. And then the ab and thigh and most muscular, I think both were a toss up because those are both really strong poses for me. The thing with local bodybuilding at the NPC level, and a lot of people don't know this, is that 99.9% of the time, only prejudging is actually judged. Finals is almost never judged, and the judges have to specifically want a confirmation round to actually judge it. It is not like the pros, where you have both prejudging and finals scored, and then they combine the scores. So I knew it was close. I didn't think they would do a confirmation round, even though it was close. And then we were backstage. We were all lined up. We were getting ready to go. We were all on the stairs, getting ready to go on stage and do our comparisons. Everybody had done their finals routines already. And the expediter backstage said, "Hey, they're doing a confirmation round." And I got extremely excited because I know that they're not doing a confirmation round to compare second and third or fourth and fifth, whatever. There's only one reason they're going to take the time to do that, and that's to compare number one and number two. And that was me and this other guy. So they put us through some rounds. I loved the look that I brought to the stage. I knew I was looking good. Obviously, I was excited because I knew it was that close. And then they got through the placings, went fifth, fourth, third, got down to us top two. And then the head judge announced, "Hey, this was a 1-point decision between first and second." I ended up in second. He ended up in first. Dog walked the overall. There was like 2 or 3 guys in the light and middle weights, and I'll leave it at that. Whoever was winning the heavyweights was winning the overall. I'll leave it at that. But the fact that I came that close to beating a pretty darn good bodybuilder that at another show would be in a completely different weight class ahead of me, above me, 25 pounds heavier than me, that bodes pretty well. So I'm very, very excited for the Arnold Classic. I think we got a ton of momentum. And I'll say it outright, my goal is to win the class, for sure. I think it's very doable. I'm going to have to be on point. We're going to have to nail everything just as well, if not better than we did for this show. But I definitely think it's possible. I'm not worrying about winning the overall because, number one guy who already beat me is also going to be there. He was qualifying for the Arnold too. And then you also have the rest of the heavyweights and the supers. And at that show, it's not going to be at the local level where the heavyweights and supers, like, yeah, they're big, but they're out of shape. Like, those guys are going to come in shape. They're going to have good shape and structure, and I'm probably not going to beat those guys, and that's okay. There's only one pro card that is given out the Arnold Classic, for the Arnold Amateur. It's going to be for the overall, so I'm not even worried about that. I want to win my class, and if somebody comes out and looks amazing and says, "Hey, this guy is a for sure, surefire, future 212 pro, something like that. He's got all the bells and whistles, and he beats me." okay. There's no defense in bodybuilding. It is offense only. You bring your best, other guy brings his best. You see what the judges say. But that is absolutely my goal. And if I can't win, at the very least, first call out, top 3, whatever. Most importantly, it's about the process. It's about being the absolute best that I can be. Wherever the placing ends up being, that is where it's going to end up being. But undeniably, my goal is to win the light heavyweight class at the Arnold Amateur, and I think it's doable. So let's get on with this video. We're getting long in the tooth here. A couple more comparison shots, first show to the third. Again, you can see everything is improved. Even my legs that they don't need much improving, even they improved. So yeah, just another year and a half of this, and next year is going to be really fun, for sure. So let's talk about peak week. I'm not going to get into pharmaceutical things, guys, okay? I've said that before. I don't want that to be what this channel is about. YouTube is very, very strict about that sort of thing, so not going to discuss it. You can talk to me offline if you want to. So anyway, I always try to take time off before a show as much as I can. Took the entire week of work off. I went up there Tuesday before the show, 4 days out. Trained in the morning, one last workout at the gym here in town. Got going to Vegas. Took my sweet time getting up there. Took a couple breaks to eat a couple meals along the drive. Went to the bathroom, all that stuff. Wednesday and Thursday, got a couple training sessions in a Dragon's Lair. Was able to meet Flex Lewis, which is really cool. He said I was jacked. He was talking about like, oh man, you can see your upper chest and everything like that, looking good. And I know he's being nice and friendly and everything like that, but it's always cool when a 7-time 212 Mr. Olympia says something like that to you. Super, super cool. Diet for the entire week was meal by meal. I was sending pictures to my coach constantly. He drove up and was there with me in person from Thursday through the show and was seeing me in person. Everything was meal by meal for the diet, and I'll show you the 1 day out and show day diet. Reduced protein servings just because you don't need protein at that point. The goal is not building muscle. It's a long-term process. It's about refilling the muscle, and you want quick digestion, eating those quick carbs and getting that glycogen and water refilled. We kept water and sodium pretty darn high all the way throughout, and a lot of the extra carbs were through very fast and easily digestible things like rice cakes and Rice Krispie treats, and you'll see some of that. Did have post-show dinner after Saturday, or after the show on Saturday. My tradition is Cheesecake Factory. I had one meal with the dessert. I had it was like the truffle honey chicken breast or something like that with mashed potatoes, asparagus. Absolutely outstanding. It tasted amazing. Had a slice of cheesecake, which I actually ate like hour and a half, 2 hours later, something like that. Brought it back to the hotel room. Let that food get through me. Made sure I was hungry again before eating that. And then before the end of that night, my coach had my updated meal plan ready for me, and I had my meals for the next day already made and prepped with all the food that I brought with me to the show. So immediately back to the plan the very next day, and it's been on plan ever since then. So this is what I ate 1 day out. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. You can pause the video and read it. We ended up only doing 5 meals on this day just because we wanted to prioritize sleep because we had to get up so early on the show day, and it was a matter of, do we want to get one more meal on us, a little bit more food, or have a little bit more rest and have a really good night's of sleep? And for us, we were able to get enough food in during the day that sleep was the easy answer. So that's what we went with. But you can see these meals, pretty low protein, obviously low fats. Only a couple of meals actually had a bunch of fats in them. There was some fat spread throughout the day in almond butter, just to kind of make sure things stuck to me a little bit, but nothing, super high, like 10 grams of fat per meal, something like that. So ended up being, pretty normal fat levels, 40, 50 grams, about the same that I normally eat. But you can see, rice cakes, Rice Krispie treats, almond butter, that was pretty much every single meal. A little bit of rice and a little bit of protein. Pretty simple. Show day diet, again, the same exact thing. We were able to get 2 full meals in me before prejudging started, and then backstage about 15 minutes or so before went on stage, had a Rice Krispie treat with, I'm going to guess, about 10 grams of honey, some salt, and like 2 ounces of water, enough to wash it down. Just that last little bit of sugary, fast digesting carbs with the sodium and the water to get a bit more fullness in me, get a good pump and everything like that. And then 2 more meals in between prejudging and finals, and then again, same backstage snack right before finals. Worked out pretty well. One thing that was kind of interesting, so my first couple of shows back in 2024, I didn't really do a lot of pumping up backstage. I don't really know why, looking back. It's just not something that I thought of. I just wanted to kind of just go out there looking how I looked and just focus on my posing and not worry about doing anything crazy. So I did a tiny bit. This show, I definitely did more pumping up backstage, and I think it really paid off, especially for finals. So for prejudging, Tommy had me get a good pump, but not, we were avoiding getting flooded, was the term that we use. Like, we want a good pump, but we don't want to be so pumped that we can't get on our poses. And then, looked pretty good. And then for finals, we were like, hey, let's try really maximize the pump and let's get flooded here. So from the moment he told me that to the moment that we were lined up backstage, I was pumping up. So I had my bands. I was doing basically circuits of curls, hammer curls, some side raises, front raises, a little bit of a weird banded row thing. It's kind of hard to pump up your back with just a band, and then some push-ups with different grips to get chest and tricep pump, and it worked really well. So I think that is probably something we're going to repeat for the next show, but we're going to see how it goes. So with that all being said, again, I know this is going to be a long video, guys. I apologize, but we got a lot to cover. So we are now actually 12 days out. This is from a couple days ago, 14 days out from the Arnold Amateur. I am a little bit heavier now, kind of sitting around the 191, 192 pound weight range. So up about 3.5, 4 pounds or so from the morning of the show, 1 day out from there, which I think is about where we want to be. Obviously there's going to be some stomach contents and GI stuff like that as we lower that protein again for peak week, it's going to drop back down. I'm probably going to end up around the same weight for peak week, and morning of the show, maybe a tiny bit heavier. But right now we are feeding back up a little bit, making sure we're nice and energetic, getting last few good training sessions in. So this is what I'm looking like right now. It's about the same as I looked 2 weeks out for the previous show. Maybe a little bit fuller, but pretty much right where I want to be. Still in shape, still got separation in the quads, everything where I want to be. Yeah, this is pretty much how I was looking before. This is post-workout pictures from that same day. You can see my weight goes up about 4.5 to 5 pounds from the time that I wake up to when I go to bed. Trained after 4 meals. This is an evening workout on this one. And obviously, you can see a bit more fullness. Had a really, really good pump. I've had good pumps all this week. Really, especially this last training session that I just had. I just hit legs about a couple hours ago. So you can see how that's looking. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because, again, it looks about the same as I have for a little while because I've been ready for a while. So we're not going to see drastic changes right now. So what are we doing for training and cardio? I finished up Gamma Bomb leading up into the last show. Starting another John Meadows program. This time I'm going with Avalanche. It's a 5-day per week split. We are moving legs to the beginning of that split, training them on Saturday instead of Monday, because I start my training week on Saturdays because I have a 3-day weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, because I work 4/10s at my job Tuesday to Friday. And instead of having an arm day, it's mixed in with the push and pull days, so it goes legs, push, pull, rest, push, and pull. And those second push and pull days are more of pump days, so less barbell work, which I'm not really doing much of any right now. Fewer intensity techniques, which again I'm not really doing right now, and then another rest day. This program is extremely similar to Project Colossus, which I ran in the middle of my prep. It worked extremely well, and then as far as dialing back the intensity and volume, it's pretty much the same as we did, for the 4 to 6 weeks out from the last show. Pretty much the same. The exception was today's leg day. Tommy bumped up my food, went up to about 500 grams of carbs for one last really hard leg day. So we did get to push it really hard today. I trained with Jessica Kolek. She's an IFBB, I think, figure pro. Trained with her, extremely hard worker, extremely strong. She was outlifting me on a few movements, very, very strong. So it was a really good session, especially with the extra food in, but extra sodium. Cardio right now, same as before. It's day to day, about 20 to 25 minutes per day if we're doing it. Yesterday and today had no cardio, just get the step count high, and that's it. So, very last side. We're almost to the end, guys. Diet. Like I said, it was adjusted immediately after the show. Got right back to the plan the next day. Same exact foods as before, so I'm not going to post the full meal plans. No real changes. The only difference is that for the pre and post workout meals, we do have some rice cakes in there for both of those for some extra fast digesting carbs. That's really the only change. Overall, food is a little bit higher than it was before leading into the last show. Like I said, we're trying to be just a little bit fuller, and then it may come down for next week. We will see. Non-training day, you can see the macros there. About 150 grams of carbs. Training day is right now 355 grams of carbs. And leg day for today was 515 grams of carbs. We will see if that stays the same. I'm anticipating it probably won't for the next leg day, because then we will want to be backing off, because we'll be 5 days out from the show then. It's probably going to come back down to the normal training day diet. So this is probably a 1 day only thing. We will see. But that's what we did. So today, pretty fun day of eating, everything like that. Energy is really good. But yeah, let's finish up this video. Thank you guys for watching. I don't even want to look at how long this video is going to be, but thank you if you have listened all the way to the end. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, remember to work, grow, win. Thanks for watching.